Scuderia Ferrari Edition, the heart of the race.
Hello and welcome to round number 3 of the Formula SimRacing Academy Championship. I'm your commentator Cameron Rodger, and we also have Felix van Delft on the cameras today. And you join us from the streets of Azerbaijan in Baku for 31 laps today. This is the third tier of the Formula SimRacing divisions, and we have 30 drivers today trying to get the win. And this track is 6 kilometers with 2 DRS zones, notably a very, very long straight down to the start-finish line. It is almost 2 kilometers, including the final kinks that the drivers will be taking flat out, and pretty much flat out with a full tank of fuel as well. However, we will jump straight into the qualifying, as the drivers have already been going for a few minutes now, and we have Vladislav Pavlov on pole position at the moment by some 0.4 of a second, and his personal best on the practice server was actually even quicker, so he is certainly looking very quick today after some decent races so far. He's got a couple of podiums, their opening races in Australia and China as well for the Royal Blue Racing team, who have certainly had a good start to their career in Formula SimRacing, this being their first season. And so far the field spread is actually pretty good as well. The top 15 drivers all within 1 second. And Pavlov is actually on a lap right now, and he's gone purple in the first sector as well. And 0.4 quicker than anyone else I can see at the moment, so he is certainly on the pace today. As we see him come around to this third sector, down to this very tricky braking zone. It's kinked, it's tight, there's walls all around you, but you have to get it as close as you can as you come downhill into what is effectively the final corner onto the back straight. Oh, he's getting a little bit of wheel spin, but not too bad of an exit as we come through these flat out kinks. Very, very fast corners, you do not want to be going side by side. There's the long run. Gotta wait quite a few meters actually for the DRS, which is now, and he keeps it. He did improve in the second sector, so what can he do overall? He's going to come over the line and do a 38.4, so yes, he improves again. And that was without improving in the final 2 sectors, so that was all in the first sector for Vladislav Pavlov. And he is now leading by over half a second. So he has certainly done the practice for this race so far. And drivers are limited to 12 laps in this session, so there is a couple of drivers already who have reached that limit. However, most of them have one lap to go, because you basically get 4 laps, 12 laps in total. Obviously you need to do an out lap, your fast lap, and then an in lap. That is 4 total hot laps you can do in the 20-minute session. However, we've only got 2 minutes left, so drivers will be coming out for their final laps as we speak. The driver on our lap right now is Anton Skirchenko for the VRT Grand Prix car. Very nice black livery there. And he's done 2 personal bests down in P number 12. going through these kinks again. And he's actually on the yellow soft tyre. So he is obviously, if you get into the top 10, you have to start on your qualifying tyre. So if he can get into the top 10, this will be a very good strategy for him. He's in P12, he's done a couple of personal bests. Can he improve up the leaderboard? The line's very late. And yes, he can get into 6th place on those soft compound tyres. And if he can keep there, that will be someone to look out for in this race. He's the only person in the whole field who is on those soft tyres. Everyone else is on the super soft, so that is a very, very good strategy call for him. Because obviously with the pace differential being slightly big, considering Pavlov is so far ahead, Skiryshenko is obviously using that to his advantage to try and get a better strategy for the race. Obviously this car is the exact same as what the Pro Championship and the World Championship have. Oh, and Callum Roberts here is getting a slipstream from his teammate up ahead to the line. In fact, there's another car ahead, so he's going to get an absolutely massive slipstream here. He hasn't improved so far, but this third sector is going to be very, very fast indeed for Callum Roberts. Where can he put himself? And he does not improve, actually. He stays in P4. So unfortunately, that didn't work out for him, but he did do a personal best in the final sector with that slipstream. So obviously, the Royal Blue guys trying to do what Michele D'Alessandro did last time out in the World Championship, using a slipstream to improve his qualifying position. We always have Jan Woznica down in P10 finishing his lap. Got a couple of drivers now starting their final, or sorry, on their final laps. Got Tom Lombards down in P number 12, although he's just hit the wall. Coming through the couple of kinks, coming down into the to start the final sector. Sector 2 beam is just on the entry of this corner, and he's done a personal best as well. So can he get into the top 10? The Belgian driver hasn't had the best last couple of races, done decent though in the flag-to-flag car, having made his debut last season halfway through. Now he's coming to line, he's gone down to P13 because Adrian Cott has gone up to P number 8. Where can Tom Lombards put himself? Goes up into P8 as well, pushes Cott down to P9. And that now pushes Robles out the top 10. We also have Danny Robbins improving as well. Another Royal Blue car, number 50, coming through the final kinks. And Boratovsky, as we look, his times didn't look too great, but he's gone personal best into P2. Boratovsky was quite high up last time as well. Where can Danny Robbins put himself? He's currently in P3, and he gets down into P4 with Noah Rivers as well, improving at the end. So lots of drivers improving at the end there. Mostly in the third sectors, their first and second sectors didn't look at anything special, so didn't look at their lap times. But Yuri Sirvatsky as well, P13, going up into P4, so it's completely changed. As the championship leader, Kas Reitveld, is now in P10, which pushes Lombards out into P11, so he will be the first guy to start to have free choice on tyres. And Anton Shiroshenko actually managed to stay in the top 10 on those soft compound tyres. So he is one to watch down in P9, as he will be on an alternate strategy, starting high up in the field. However, it is Vladislav Pavlov on the pole position by some 4/10 to Noah Rivers as well in the Ground Effects sim racing car. So they are two debuting teams this season, and they're obviously doing some good results. And then we have Boratovsky for Netrex down in P number 3. Hopefully he can have a better turn 1 than he did last time out. And then we have Yuri Sirvatsky in P4 and Danny Robbins in P5. And Callum Wilson having a good performance up in P6 as well. So we will go to an ad break, and then when we come back, we will discuss a bit more about the track, and then get you ready for the race start as well. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to round number 3 of the FSR Academy Championship from the streets of Baku in Azerbaijan for 31 laps today in the third tier of Formula Sim Racing. I'm your commentator Cameron Rodger. We've got Felix van Delft on the cameras, and soon we will be joined by Peter Schulze in the commentary box, who is also the race director today. And we will just take a quick preview of the track again, and we will see it is a 6-kilometer track, 2 DRS zones, very long straight down into turn 1, where we expect to see a lot of overtaking, as the cars will be already well over 320 kilometers an hour before they even hit the DRS zone, so the speed's going to be very high coming down to turn 1. Luckily on lap 1, they'll be a lot slower due to where the start line is, and hopefully we can see minimal amounts of incidents, because it is a little bit tricky, this track. There's a couple of tight sections, especially the castle section as you got up the hill there, very tight, as we saw in the real life race last weekend. We obviously have 3 races today, with the Pro Championship later on this afternoon, and then the World Championship this evening, where I'm sure we will see a lot of action. However, for today's race in the Academy Series, we have 31 laps, and your championship leader, Kars Reitveld, who has won the last 2 races fairly comfortably, is down in P10 on the grid. And the second in the championship is Vladislav Pavlov, who is your pole sitter today, followed by Callum Roberts and Tommy Yatello, and then Jan Wozniak is 5th in the championship. However, Tommy isn't here today, so he's going to lose out a little bit in the championship. And then your P6 in the championship is Jackson Went, but he has got a start from pits penalty, so he will be joining the back of the pack as they come around turn 1 on lap 1. He will have to fight his way through, and he actually had a penalty last time out as well. He was your pole sitter. However, he did a jump start, which pushed him right down to the back, unfortunately, because that gives you a drive-through penalty. But we are now on the grid for today's race. Nice and sunny out. There's no rain in Formula Sim Racing, so the drivers will just have a straight fight. Dry weather all the way to the end of this 31-lap race. And as we come onto the formation laps, we will run you down the grid for today's race. On pole, we got Vladislav Pavlov for the Royal Blue Racing team, who is, as I said, he's second in championship, came 4th, and then got P2 last time out. And second on the grid is Noah Rivers, who I think is making his debut, because I don't think he has raced so far this season, so he is there down in P number 2. And then we have Andrei Borotovsky, who unfortunately had a crash in turn 1 last time out, so he couldn't make use of his good grid position. But today he's there in P3, so hopefully he can do a bit better today, as he does have some good pace. Down in P4 we have Yuri Suravatsky for the TCS Off Racing team. And again, he hasn't had the best first couple of races, but P4 today should be able to get a good result from there. Then you have Danny Robbins in another Royal Blue Racing car. They have had a very good start to the season. And then Michael Wilson having a good race for Go Speed up in P6, or good qualifying I should say. The race is still to come, and that is where you get the points. He needs to focus on getting them today. And we have Callum Roberts down in P number 7 for another Royal Blue Racing car. So you see there's 3 of them. However, only the top 2 score points for the Constructors' Championship. So each team can have up to 8 drivers, but only the top 2 score. Now I have Ernest Lappins, who is in the Invictus. However, I think he's actually moved to Drillers for the next race. Then we have Anton Skiroshenko down in P9, but he is starting on those soft compound tyres, so he is someone to look out for. Then we have Kars Reitveld in P10, your championship leader. Tom Lombards starting in P11, also on the soft tyres. and then Matt Tewson also on the soft tyres. You will see a lot of drivers now as they have free choice on tyres outside top 10. Then we have Adrian Kott, Jurek Robles is actually starting from the pit lane, Jan Woznicka, Thomas Vac, Paulia Honen, Vlad Tokarev, Niranjan Kumar, Valez Galer, who's also starting from the pit lane, Indrek Remitz, Rainier Verheer, Dano Bruntholm is also starting from the pit lane, Malcolm Smith, Mike Almeida, Gerard Batella, Milan Rajkovic, Angel Beneas, and then Edward Batella and Jackson Wendt are also starting from the pit lane. So it's actually about 4 or 5 guys starting from the pit lane. So they will have to feed out to the back of the field and try and make up some places from there. But now we've got the drivers all coming to the grid. And this is the 3rd race of the season, so drivers already had a couple of starts under their belts today. However, it has been a month since the last race, so hopefully they are nice and clean coming down into this first turn. And as we just wait for the lights to turn on, we've got 5 of them, and when they go out we will be racing here in Baku. And lights are out and away we go. And Vladislav Pavlov has got a good start. Noah Rivers is going to be able to keep his 2nd place down into turn number 2. And it looks like most cars behind have actually had a pretty decent start. A couple of smoking engines, but nothing that bad. And the start from pits guys also getting out fairly clean. Down the midfield, turn 2, a little bit tighter. But it seems everyone has gone nice and carefully through there. So no crashes so far. And Pavlov has got a nice little lead from Noah as we come down into turn number 3 and 4. Oh, and actually there is a crash with Shiroshenko down at turn number 3. I think that was just behind Kus Reitfeld. Couldn't quite see who was involved, but it's unfortunate for them. We'll try and get a replay in a minute. But it's actually the top sort of 10 or so have a bit of a gap now to Kumar, who is down. Actually says top 13, so Kumar's down in P13 as well. And we got Pavlov, who's got a nice 2-second lead from Noah Rivers. Let's have a look a bit further down at the midfield, because it looks like about P11 you've got Matt Tewson, who's actually got ahead of Jan Woznicka. Actually, no, sorry, Jan Woznicka was behind us, Tom Lombards. So Matt Tewson made a move there, and now Jan's trying to have a look, but this isn't really the corner. But because he is starting on those super soft tyres, he's going to be wanting to get ahead of these drivers as soon as possible, because his tyres will start to go off as the laps continue on. And if he doesn't start making moves, that will not help his strategy out very well. But as we get to the end of lap 1, it is Vladislav Pavlov, your pole sitter, who's got a nice lead from Noah Rivers as well. That was a fairly decent start, not too many crashes, just a couple of drivers out at this moment in time. So it seems Indrek Remitz has DNF'd, so has Vlad Tokarev, unfortunately for them, having to leave this race early on.
And to join you, Cameron, I've just taken a look at the incident at turn 3 we had in the first lap, and there were actually 2 incidents going on. One was Skirichenko and Kott not leaving enough room for each other and crashing, and then there was also a Networks car from Indrek Remitz completely missing the braking point and shooting past everyone. So with that, the track basically was blocked for everyone else behind them.
Yeah, unfortunately with the track, the way it is being a street circuit, it's quite tight, the walls around. If the track does get blocked, unfortunately some other drivers do get involved. However, that is just the nature of a street circuit. We might actually have one as well next time out, because we've got Montreal next time out. So drivers will have to get used to this type of racing for this and the next race. It is certainly a unique venue that we come to here. And this is the first time that we've actually come here in the main season. So Baku's been around since 2016, however this is the first time in 2019 that FSR has actually come here. On down in P5 got Michael Wilson making a move on Danny Robbins, and he has got past there without the DRS, because DRS doesn't come into effect until lap 3 as we have now.
And we have more battles further down the field. We have Ernest Lapins, Bortowski battling with each other, Callum Roberts, Kaz right field side by side for 2 turns right now. That's the first lap of the DRS actually, and Kaz doesn't seem to have, oh no, he does. So yeah, Woznica activated his DRS way earlier than Kaz field and got past him into turn 3. And up ahead, it looks like Michael Wilson is charging for the podium at the moment.
It's been a good race from him so far. He hasn't really been on the pace too many times in his FSR career. However, moving to Ghost Speed this year, he's found some extra speed, some extra form, and he will be looking to hopefully try and get his first podium in FSR this race. However, we do have a 31 lap race today, so the strategy will be quite important, and especially the people starting on these super soft tyres. Will be interesting to see if they go for a 2-stop or if they try and do a 1-stop with the medium tyres later on. Because all these drivers starting with the soft tyres can probably just go to the mediums and do a nice easy 1-stop. But if you start on the super softs, then obviously they don't go quite as far into the race, and you will have to make a decision whether you want to do that 2-stop or stay out for a 1-stop strategy. And at the end of lap number 3, Pavlov has got a 1.5 second lead from No Rivers, and they've actually pulled a little gap from Siravatsky, who's got a couple of drivers behind him. However, these will all have DRS, so if Siravatsky cannot keep up the pace, he might be under attack in the next couple of laps. Seems you've got a nice battle down for the last few points as well. Points do go down to P15 in the Academy Championship. So you do have 15 opportunities to get points, and with 30 drivers in the race, half of them will obviously get points. 25 for a win, going down to 1 point for P15. And the top 2 of each constructor will get points towards the Constructors' Championships as well. However, obviously all the drivers here are mostly driving for the Drivers' Championship, thing where they can get to in that. Kus Reitveld isn't having such an easy race today. He's down in P number 10. He's got a big slide there coming down to the end of Sector 2 as well. And he had a fairly easy last couple of races. He sort of got in the lead, and then the way strategy and traffic worked out, he managed to basically cruise off into the distance and win by 10 plus seconds. However, it is not that easy today. Certainly not going to be so easy today with all these cars ahead of him. However, he's getting past Callum Roberts there for P number 9, so he's back up to P number 9. And he's going to try and now catch down Jan Woznica. And Woznica wasn't quite as fast in qualifying as he can be in the race. He's got a P2 in Australia before having some difficulties last time out, so you can definitely get podiums, can this lad, but so far down in P8 today. And Woznica actually did a purple lap time on the last lap, a 42.2. The next fastest is the leader, Vladislav Pavlov, on a 42.4. So Jan with that DRS is gaining a little bit.
And it looks like the Royal Blue cars of Danny Robbins and Callum Roberts both have a lot more downforce, a lot more speed in the twisty section, but on straights they're pretty much a sitting duck. We have seen 2 times now Callum Roberts getting past easily. And Danny Roberts is always gaining on Michael Wilson, but as soon as they hit the straights, even though he has DRS and slipstream, he's falling back compared to Michael.
Yes, on the speed traps, their speed is quite a bit lower, some 10k's almost lower than other drivers. Obviously that is slipstream and DRS dependent for where they are in the speed trap. However, 10k's is quite a lot That is easily enough with this long straight to make quite a big difference.
Yeah, now we actually will see Ernest Lappins attacking Danny Robbins. Oh, and I hear a crash ahead, I think. Who just... I think it was Jarek Robles. Let me take a look at the replay.
Oh, while we do that, we have a massive battle down in P18. Even though it's for P18, there's about 5 cars going into turn number 1. But now for P number 5, we've got Danny Robbins getting back past Michael Wilson, and there's a massive train of cars behind these guys. Actually, oh wow, and who is that? There's Ernest Lappins go right down the inside of Michael Wilson into the chicane. And that is a very late move, however he has made that work. I don't know if Michael had an issue with his brakes or whether Ernest just sent it down the inside, but that is P number 5 for him. And Michael's lost 2 places in about 3 corners there. And behind them we've got some very fast drivers as well, as they'll be coming to the DRS zone in a couple of kilometres.
The issue with Jarek Robles was out of the last corner for the long straight. Didn't really come back onto the track from the curb and just went straight on into the wall and lost a few wheels and his rear wing, and all the other cars behind him had to avoid.
Yeah, unfortunately when you lose wings in an open wheel race, it's basically game over, as there's not enough time to make up any lost ground really. And I'm looking at Cas Reitfeld, and he is actually potentially going to be overtaken here by P number 10, Callum Roberts. However, there's so many guys at the slipstream, it's hard to know who to look at, but Callum Roberts actually going to be making a move down to Cas Reitfeld. Can he outbrake him as well? Oh, makes a bit of a lock-up, makes some contact with Cas Reitfeld. I don't know if Cas is going to be overly happy with that, actually. Callum seemed to come in a little bit too aggressive on the brakes, locked a wheel. But that may go to the stewards room later on. But for now, Callum Roberts is up into P number 9.
And we have Woznica and Borotowski side by side through turn 3 and turn 4. Woznica manages to get out of Borotowski there, and Borotowski falling back into the pack now because he had to go quite slow into turn 4 after Woznica went past him.
I don't know if Rob is having issues with his brakes because he's just gone deep into turn number 7 as well, and that's put Cas Reitfeld right on the back of him again. Many of these drivers will just try to be keeping it safe where they can, and waiting for these long straights, as over, well, really 2/3 of this track is just flat out big long straights. Danny Robbins now is actually going to be having a look for Siravatsky. However, will they have the top speed? As we said, the Royal Blue guys definitely have some higher wing angles. And no, it looks like he's actually going to be too far back. He was very close coming up turn 16, which is effectively the final corner, but he's nowhere near close enough. He's going to have to be a lot closer than that to make an overtake. And Callum Roberts now overtaking Borotowski, trying to go around the outside of turn 1. That is very difficult. Oh, Borotowski goes wide, and Cas Reitfeld has got down the inside of both of them. 1 lap later of Cas getting overtaken, he is now retaken that position. And Borotowski's got overtaken by Tucson, and he's in the wall with Tucson. That was a cut. Their wheels got tangled. They still are tangled, actually. They're blocking the road a little bit. Luckily, the drivers are able to get out of the way, but I think...
Oh, don't move. Don't move. Andre.
Yeah, Andre unfortunately spun the Ghost Speed car there. And that's not the best situation for having these drivers being stopped on the exit of a really tight corner. And I don't know if Borotowski's going to retire, but yes, he has. He has sat there, and so has Matt Tucson. Oh, sorry, there's been another crash with Dano Brantholm as well. He has hit Adrian Cott. So there's a couple of incidents to look at right now, but yeah, so Matt Tucson and Andre Borotowski, their wheels got locked on the exit of turn number 2, and when that happens, the driver who's ahead just gets pushed into the wall, and there's nothing that can really be done at that moment by Matt Tucson in this case. And yeah, Borotowski unfortunately has DNF'd because he had a crash as well last race, so he's not living up to the speed that he has so far.
We have a lot of retirements this round. I see Rajkovic without a rear wing in the pit lane. Barnegas DNF'd as well.
Yes, so Brantholm ran into the back of Cott and Brantholm. Cott and Benaya's down into turn number 3. I think it was.
Okay. Actually, something also happened to Michael Wilson. He's back. He's only in P10 now. Got overtaken by a lot of cars. Actually, Tom Lombert's ahead of him as well. He's in P11 now. Michael Wilson, that is.
Yes, so that was a lot of action on the last lap. We'll try and get you a replay of the things that are happening. Obviously, Michael Wilson there, now down into P number 11 as well. So lots of action here in Baku, as we expected, on a street track and that sort of thing. You always expect some action. I'm trying to find out the reason actually why Michael Wilson. Oh, Wilson's gone down the escape road in turn number 3. Is that? I'm trying to work out. Oh yeah, that's my replay. Okay, so Wilson went down the escape road in turn number 3, which is why he's now down to P11 because he had to make a little U-turn, and that is how he ended up behind by Tom Lombards in P number 11. And I hear some crashes. Who is crashing? Oh, Danny Robbins has crashed on the exit of turn 16, the final corner. I think he's lost a wheel. I think he has hit the barrier on the outside.
We were just looking at the replay on the stream, I think, and
yes,
he came into turn 16. Went onto the curb. Oh, he hit the anti-cut a bit, and I think he probably beached and went straight into the wall.
Yeah,
pretty similar to the incident which Jarek Robles said earlier.
Yeah, the wall sticks out a little bit there, so if you do go too wide, you do have to pull it back. And obviously, he slightly misjudged that, and unfortunately, he's out of the race. And Mike Almeida is driving down the or the main straight even with no rear wing, but because he has a front wing. Because he has a front wing, that aero distribution is not good.
He had he went into the wall in the second kink on the back straight. Straight up went into the wall on the car and lost the rear wing, and obviously then lost the front wing later when he drove without a rear wing.
Yeah, he should unfortunately just retire because he's losing both wings, and if someone wants to get in the pit entry now, he's going to be blocking that, so that is not a good place for him to be right now. Yeah, so and going back to the battles now. Oh, and is that Wozniak spinning? Yeah, Wozniak has spun. Kasparov and the others have gone past, but Wozniak has spun there on the exit of turn number 11 through that little chicane, and he is now getting overtaken by Michael Wilson through that kink. Oh, that is a very fast kink. They're going to go side by side through there, but they managed to do that. And yeah, Wozniak now reset all the advantage he gained earlier.
Pretty sure Wozniak killed his rear tires. Before the caster section, he already had a half spin, and then coming out of the caster section, he just spun around. So he's probably thinking about pitting this lap.
Yeah, lap 11 is pretty okay to make a pit stop. However, he will probably have to take the medium compound tires. Softs may not last if he's only got 11 laps out of the super soft tires. And yes, he has come into the pit lane.
Oh, and earlier that lap, we had Balash Galia as well, spinning out of turn 3. I think he already made a pit stop, lost his front wing when spinning out.
Oh, and Jan, what's his name?
Oh, what? Wiedwald spun? No, Wiedwald, who is it? Yeah, Pauli Ahonen in front of Kaz Wiedwald spun on the exit of turn 4, went with the rear wing into the wall and lost his rear wing, so he should probably just park his car, and that's what he's doing right now.
So Jan Wozniak as well in his pit stop had to wait for the Breslin of Mike Almeida to get his repairs done, because unfortunately they were sharing a pit box, so he's lost some extra time from that, about 10 seconds or so.
Then after all this chaos, we have Callum Roberts and Kaiser Whitfield being basically the only ones right now battling for a position. Oh, Callum just ran into the wall, same as his teammate earlier, and he lost both of his wings.
Yes, that as you can see from the angle I was looking at, you can see the Tech Pro barrier sticks out a little bit, and unfortunately, it is not squishy. It is a hard wall, and if you touch that, you will unfortunately lose wheel. So Callum Roberts is out, and wow, in the last 5 laps we've had a lot of DNFs. It was all going good for the first 7-8 laps, and then unfortunately some action has happened, and Siravatsky has gone on to medium tyres down into P10. I think he's one of the first pitters who hasn't actually had too much of an issue this race. But Pavlov is leading by some 4.5 seconds now. And he's still on those super soft tyres on lap number 12. It looks like he is going to be trying to stay for a one-stop strategy today.
Wasn't the car in the pits again? He just pitted 2 laps ago.
Did he
let me
speed?
see if he's actually doing a drive-through, because... Yep, it looks like he got a speeding penalty. Because he's just doing a drive-through.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you don't slow down, because there's a little chicane as you come into the pit entry, and if you don't slow down enough for that, once you come out of the chicane, there's just not enough time to slow down anymore. So that was just a bit of a misjudgment there from the Polish man, who has unfortunately again had another bad race because he had some issues in China as well. That is him down as P14 at this moment. So is any of the leaders looking like they're making a pit stop? Yes, Ernest Lappins, P number 3, is slowing down to come round that chicane into the pit entry, and so is Kas Reifeld. So these 2 guys will be making the first pit stops from the top guys. And we'll have to see what they go on to, whether it's the medium or the soft tyres. Obviously, if they go to the softs and try to get to the end, which they probably will at this moment in time with about 18 laps to go, they'll obviously give them an advantage compared to if they take the mediums. However, Kas has gone to the mediums, and so has Ernest. So they've both gone to the mediums, so they want to push a little bit harder. However, obviously those tyres will be ever so slightly slower as well.
Oh, big lock up by Tom Lomberts. The Iranian Kuma goes past him on the inside of turn 3. The Iranian actually gets a lot of oversteer, a lot of wheel spin out of turn 3, and they're still side by side into turn 4, out of turn 4. Now under braking into the next turn. Kuma is the inside, Tom Lomberts the outside, and he can't hold it around the outside.
I say Kuma is doing pretty decent in the NRWO Motorsports car.
Was Nikas pitting again for some reason?
Don't tell me he's spared again.
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, he's taking a pit stop this time. He's gone to another set of soft compound tyres, so maybe he did a massive lockup or something like that and just thought that he wanted to take a set of new tyres to make sure he gets to the end. However, back at the front, Vladislav Pavlov and Noah Rivers are coming into the pit lane. So let's see what compounder tyres they go on to. Will Michael Wilson stay out? It looks like he's coming into the pit lane as well. So Pavlov has gone onto the mediums. Noah, where he's stopping out, he's also gone into the mediums. So they are taking the safe option. Although I'm very confused because if they got 13 laps out of super soft, you'd expect them to get a few more laps out of the soft, meaning that the mediums would be easy. However, they've obviously taken the safe option as they have got a nice big lead.
And Tom Lomberts going from the soft to the super soft tyres. That's an interesting choice.
Maybe he sped as well, so he waited for his few laps because you have a couple laps to serve it.
No, mine. He took the super softs with 18 laps to go, even though he only could take the softs to 13 laps. So either he made a mistake or he just made a wrong call. Because I don't expect him to make the super softs last 18 laps if he only can make the softs last for 30 laps.
Yeah, may have been a misclick when selecting the tyres, because each driver individually has to input what tyres they want when they make the pit stop.
Was Nikas in the pits again?
Lord.
That's his third lap in a row where he's pitting. And he's changing tires again as well. What's he doing this race? And coming onto the straight, we now have Eduard Battala right behind rFactor. And right behind Battala, Zirowatsky is coming on his fresh tires as well.
These
and
drivers
Rodger
both
actually
haven't stopped.
going into the pit lane. So Battala gets the free place up into P5, Zirowatsky right behind him, P6 on his fresh medium tires. I'm not really sure what Jan Wozniak is doing this race. That was his third pit stop in 3 laps, I think.
Yep, I'm not sure either. Oh, Ernest Lappin's spun coming out turn 1. I saw him side by side with Gerard Patella, and then I looked away, and now he is round, and Carsten Reitveld has got past him, coming out of turn number 1.
Oh, yeah, he lost it on the exit curve, Ernest Lappin, then tried to save the spin, and by doing that went a bit into Gerard's car there. But probably not too much damage for them.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing with when you make a spin is that he will lose a lot of tyre wear, and he will put a lot of heat into those tyres. And obviously, if you overheat them, they will just get worse and worse, especially the rear tyres on a circuit like this where you need the traction going onto those long straights. I'm just checking the pace of Niranjan Kumar. P2 at the moment for NRWO Motorsports. Hasn't stopped yet. He's on the medium tyres, so he's obviously going to be going a few more laps. However, his pace, his last lap was only a couple of tenths slower than Noah Rivers. We'll see when he finishes this lap if he keeps that pace up. But if his pace continues to be fairly decent. Yeah, he just did the exact same time as Noah Rivers, and obviously Noah is on fresher tyres. So if Kumar can keep this pace up, he might be able to make a fairly decent strategy out of this, going to soft tyre or super soft tyres at the end of this race.
Oh, we have Ernest Lappin, Kaz Riedberg side by side. Ernest actually sent it into turn 3 on the inside, and Kaz could not defend against him.
Yeah, Kaz not having the race. Not having the race that he would have hoped having won the last 2 races. However, he's in the fortunate position of having a 15-point gap to Pavlov, and quite a big gap to some other cars as well. So even if he doesn't have a great race today, he will still be pretty high up in the championship. Talk about Pavlov, he is now leading by 10 seconds to Noah, who is effectively in 2nd place. Pavlov is certainly showing he has the pace today.
Just watching Pavlov's lap times a bit, and he's nearly taken a second first sector on Kumar. And I think Kumar actually hasn't stopped yet, so that P2 would be Noah Roivers. So yeah, impressive times by Pavlov so far, impressive pace. If you can make this mediums last to the end, then that should be an easy win for him. And we have Ernest Lappin just going past Gerard Battala into turn 1. They're still battling into turn 2. Battala will have the DRS now out of turn 2 on the long straight into turn 3. So let's see if Gerard Battala can fight back against Lappins. But it looks like Battala has no top speed at all. Lappin just drives away on the straight even though he has no DRS.
So Patella hasn't stopped either. So these drivers starting on the medium compound certainly have an advantage at the end of the race. However, they need to keep the pace up to try and not lose too much time, because obviously they are effectively a pit stop behind. If they want to make any of that back, they don't want to lose too much time when they have the overlap. Pavlov's just done another purple sector 1. Wow, that is a second. His sector 1 alone is a second quicker than Kumar and Rivers. So maybe I know it's not really close enough to be being held up actually. But I think Pavlov is just that quick today.
Yeah. And he did the same last lap as well. 1 second quicker down in the first sector.
That is pretty crazy.
And now we have Kaz Rietveld right behind Gerard Batala on the main straight. Coming up to the DRS zone, let's see if Batala pits or if Kaz is able to make a move on him. Gaining with the DRS in the slipstream down onto the start-finish straight. And Kaz goes to the inside, and that's an easy move done.
The fastest lap of the race has actually now been done by Jan Wozniacki. So after taking those new tyres, he's gone and set purple lap time. 1 second quick. Well, not from Pavlov, who's just on his last lap, but pretty much 1 second quicker than everyone else, apart from the leader. So showing he does have some pace. However, I would love to see the tyre wear on that lap if he's actually just pushing like quali laps. But he's down in P16, so he's not getting any points at the moment. The last point is Malcolm Smith. We actually have DNFs up to P17. If one more person retires, all drivers will be getting points. Fortunately, there's been quite a few issues for drivers. That is just the nature of being the 3rd division and the nature of the track especially. And
we actually have Thomas Wach just retiring from the race, so this means that every driver will get points this race. I'm just looking at the replay to see if anything happened to Thomas. Oh, this was a simple disconnect. Disconnect on the middle of the straight. That's a shame for him.
Yeah, Thomas has he's had some pretty decent results so far in the winter series as well, and the IndyCar series we did at the back end of 2018. We now have Michael Wilson trying to chase down Gerard Batella, having obviously done that little spin earlier. Coming down into turn 3, went into the runoff, had to do a little U-turn and come back out into the race. He was up into a P4 at one point in this race, but he's down in P9 at the moment. And I was looking back to Noah Rivers actually, and on the last lap especially, he had dropped back quite a lot from Iranian, so he clearly doesn't quite have the pace of Iranian at the moment, which also just shows how consistent these medium tyres can be. If an Iranian can do the same lap times when they're almost 20 laps old now. So he will, it's about 20 something seconds. So it looks like an Iranian will come out about P10 or P11. So you could still get some decent points today if he is quick on the super soft tyres that I expect him to pit for. However, he is still going at the moment.
Yep, Michael Wilson this time around much closer to Gerald Batala, has the DRS down the main straight, or will get it just now when he crosses the line. And he's very close. Slipstream DRS goes up the inside and gets the move done even before the braking zone.
Wow, his top speed dropped 5 kilometers an hour when he pulled out of that slipstream. Such is the drag when you get to 350 kilometers an hour.
And Eduard Batala just came out of the pits. He changed from mediums to super soft tires.
Well, and behind Bettella now is Tom Lombards. Is he going to have a look? Not quite. However, as we said before, Tom Lombards is probably going to have to stop again.
And he just went past Gerald into turn 4. And I think Battler hit the wall there a little bit. That's meant that Tom Lombards could get past him. So up in P6, Kaz Whitfield just done a personal best in the last lap, and it looks like he's gaining on Ernest Leppins again. So Ernest quite aggressive drive early on might have cost him a bit of tire life, and he's losing quite a bit to Kaz Whitfield now. He's already in the DRS window of Ernest, and if he gets a good exit out of turn 2, he might be able to make a move into turn 3. Let's take a look. Opens the DRS quite late, has the slipstream though. Gaining quite a lot on Ernest, but actually not gaining enough to make a move into turn 3. Oh, late on the brakes, Kaz there nearly went into the back of Ernest. We have also Jared Butler just coming out of the pits on fresh super softs as well, same as Eduard the lap before.
Even though he is leading the race, Vladislav Pavlov just did a purple lap last time round, a 41.6.
Wow.
A bit quicker than Jan Wozniacka.
Over 2 seconds quicker than P2.
Yeah.
And over 3 seconds quicker than P3.
So, I would hope that is a legit lap and he didn't run across a chicane somewhere. But I think that is just his genuine speed. I would hope he is still aiming to get to the end of the race. There's 10 laps to go. He's getting close to being able to have a free pit stop.
Kaz Whitfield a little bit closer to Ernest Leppins this time around. He's gaining a lot already in the slipstream before his DRS even opens. Now he opens the DRS. Very close to Ernest, goes up the inside. Ernest tries to defend on the inside, squeezes Kaz Whitfield to the wall. Under braking, Ernest late on the brakes, locks up, spins into turn 1, nearly into the wall, just saved it there. Ernest very late on the brakes and nearly cost him.
That was very close to hitting that wall. And if he did at the angle he was going in, he probably would have lost his rear wing as well. So he has not done his rear tyres any good. But he's still in the race, still in P6. And if he can cool them down a little bit over the next couple of laps, he'll be absolutely fine. With 9 laps to go of this race. And just behind them we have Michael Wilson and Tom Lombards, who have actually caught up a little bit because of that half spin. Oh, and has Wilson hit the wall there? I think Wilson hit the wall on the outside of turn 9 and 10. And he's got some wheel spin as well, so Tom Lombards is going to be having a look as we come through these two very, very fast kinks, turn 13 and 14. Down into turn 15. Can't really make a move here. Much better to wait for the straight.
Oh, Tom DNF'd?
Oh.
Okay, I think there we have a little issue right now. We will.
Yeah, Pavlov, Rivers, Reitveld, and Lombards.
I think we will have to stop the race. We just
That's very weird.
Looks
four
like we're
people
having some
at one
technical
time.
issues right now, so bear with us as we're figuring this out. Okay, so the race will actually be red flagged from here. And we need to see if the race gets restarted later on or not.
Yes, so depending on what point the race red flag, there are various rules about that, which I will just double check, because we are on well, we've completed lap 23, but you obviously go back a couple of laps till a point where everyone was on.
Okay, we're gonna take a short break on the broadcast where we are figuring out what's the issue here and decide how we continue this race. So please be with us. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we have. So the race director has come to the decision that we are going to red flag the race because of the multiple drivers disconnecting at once. So because it is over half distance, the race will be declared final. The exact lap and the positions we cannot confirm at this moment because that will need to be looked into. However, we will sort that as soon as possible. But for now, this will be the end of this race. It will not be restarted, and that is the final result. So I think we can say that it was Vladislav Pavlov who took the win. But in due course, we will confirm this to you. So coming up later today, we will have the Pro Championship and the World Championship. The World Championship will be at 6:30 GMT for the qualifying, and the Pro Championship will be at 3:30 GMT for qualifying, which will be in just over 2 hours' time. So we will hopefully join you then. However, I do apologise for a slight interruption in this Academy race broadcast. However, sometimes these things happen, and that's why the rules are there for when red flags happen. And maybe in one of the streams later on, we'll be able to let you know. If not, it will be announced in the next race what the result was for this race. And once again, do apologise for that. But for now, we will end this broadcast. So thank you to Peter for commentating and Felix for doing the cameras. And we will look forward to seeing you in the Pro Championship later on today.